Hello, and welcome to Comics Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello indeed.
Hello, and it's the Brighton Fringe is happening. We are there. We're here, but we're there in spirit. And by spirit, I mean zeros and ones because of the internet, which is actually, let's be honest, that's where our souls live anyway these days. So we are actually in the place via the internet. This is part of the comedy festival, so it's not just any old comic solving problems. Actually, that sounds like we're just dissing ourselves. These pair of losers. It's not just any old episode of Comics Solving Problems.
That's right. Special.
It's a Brighton comedy special. Yay! So we're just going to be looking at some of our choice clips, our choice features from the second series that we've done. We've both been spending hours looking through the bits of comedy that best distill down to be in the future when some Tony Robinson Time Team type get up, they dig down, they found a small USB stick. It's this is a cheap one from some station, it's not an actual fancy one, and they plug it in and it's just copies of this show. This will be the best record of this slice of 2020.
Because everyone else is going to want to forget 2020 and never think about this shit show ever again.
It's truth. So the links are on the screen for tweeting or whatever, but mainly it's this subscribing to the that's better if I point it that way, isn't it? Subscribing to the YouTube is an option, but I think we should just get through and remind you of some of the problems that we absolutely nailed.
That's right. So the concept of the show is born out of lockdown, where basically we as comics solve all of the world's problems, ones that you sent us, ones that we make ourselves, because they're there, and who better to solve those than comics?
Questionable, but it's a rhetorical question, so please don't answer it because the answer isn't us.
It's kind of like, when does the news end? It doesn't. It just keeps going. So we've got one. This is a problem that we talked about a lot on the show, and it's the problem of testing. This is about a big thing that's happening in the UK, is a problem with a lack of access to tests for COVID. Our cases are on the rise. We've got this rule of 6 that you've just talked about that's come in. And you know that the tests are going badly when even in the UK, because if you're watching from the US, the newspapers here are very slanted. Most of them are very right-wing. They employ most of the cabinet, if not support them. And you know it's going badly when even the conservative press are going after you, like we saw today. Here's the Telegraph, which Boris Johnson used to write for, still does. Crisis in hospitals because they can't access tests. The Times, owned by Rupert Murdoch, they had a go about it. All the papers did. And it didn't stop there, of course. We had this headline as well, which actually doesn't have anything to do with the COVID testing. But I just thought this man, this bold man, because of the heat. I mean, I don't know how hot it is. It's cold. I don't know. It's only 31 degrees. He must be freezing. But he's a chubby boy, and he's managed to be the front page of a newspaper. I've gained a little weight during lockdown, and this just makes me feel like maybe I've got some employable skills after this is all over.
Hope for you, yeah. So
I could be a model.
I look at that
for the
picture.
Daily Star.
I look at that picture and I think, wow, that Avengers actor Chris Evans has let himself go.
Well, that's not the only thing he's shown us these days. But my new hero, so the government's under heat and pressure, and on Sky News this morning, my new hero, the badass Kay Burley, oh my God, I just want her to tie me up and put a muzzle on me. She laid into some government ministers talking about testing. Here it is.
It's really not up to scratch at the moment, is it?
Well,
the Prime Minister's saying 10 million a day. We're not, I think the last count, let me just look at my figure, 62,000 a day at the beginning of the month.
Yeah, 10 million. He's saying 10 million. They were saying it was 10 million. It was only 62,000. There's a bit of a gap there between 10 million and 62,000. I mean, there's no way to know what that gap is.
Yeah.
Because it's impossible to say. No one knows what that number would be. There's no way to determine that because there's no way to do that kind of math. I mean, there's just no way. It's just like saying nobody knows, how long 6 inches is. It's about that long. That's 6 inches.
Can't tell on webcam.
Can't tell. But let's see what he has to say in response to that.
Well, we've gone from capacity from 0 to something like 370,000 capacity a day in very short order, and we think we'll have it at about 500,000 a day by the end of October.
We're having to send the test to Germany and Italy because we can't keep up.
Yeah, no, there are always teething problems, and
teething problems.
Wow.
Teething problems. This is September. COVID started in the UK in January. It's 9 months. Teething. Babies get teeth faster than this government can do anything. They've got a full set. Anyway, but he says he's getting it right. He's got more for us. Don't worry.
We are getting millions of tests done every month, and lots of people are being identified and isolated.
Getting millions of tests done every month. Are you sure about that?
Well, if it's 370,000 capacity a
That's
day.
capacity. That's
Capacity,
not the...
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Kay gives him a yeah. If you ever get the Caberly, yeah, you know you are screwed. Yeah, it's capacity, not actual tests, you dipshit. Capacity. I mean, everyone has unlimited capacity. I mean, this show has the capacity to make us famous, Steve.
Good point.
What do you think?
I mean, capacity, yeah.
I'm thinking we're getting 10 million. We have the capacity right now to make 10 million pounds from this show.
There's no upper limit on the contribution link.
I think it's more likely we'll make 62,000. I think we lose 62,000. Anyway, all right. I'm not having a bit of a go.
Yeah.
The thing is, actually, I don't think it's bad that we aren't getting these tests, because it may not be such a good thing, Steve, to test a lot of people. And I say that because I keep an eye on what's happening in America. Have a look.
How do you account for the fact that it's the United States of America that accounts for the 25% of the world's deaths?
Well, we do have more testing.
That's right, Steve. As the old saying goes, COVID doesn't kill people. Testing people kills people. Because that's the problem with the tests in America, is that, they give the test with a swab, generally, right? And in America, they're just using one. They're sharing the same swab, Steve. And so the first person that had it, they're like, it's your turn. It looks a little... And I know that sounds a little bit silly, but I've got proof. Here it is.
That's it. Why don't we give this to Karen? Perhaps she'll take an extra test.
Pass it around.
Passing it on. I mean, that's the news. The old saying, that's how you get rid, because Trump is basically a mafioso. The old saying, that guy is going to go sleep with the fishes. That's the new one. Now you just say, take this swab. It's hardly been used.
You come to me on my daughter's wedding day. Take a swab.
You take a swab. I just tried it. It's the best swab.
Happy times.
Yeah, I was just looking at Kay Burley's Twitter feed.
Don't do it to yourself.
Let's do a different account because I got blocked. Anyway, so testing.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you remember when we were failing at testing? But that one's not changed. Yeah.
It's great how some of these, I mean, that's one of the things about where we're at in life right now. 2020 is basically everything has changed, and yet everything is the same all the time.
Oh, it's true.
Edge of lockdown, failed tests, Kay Burley.
And the idea that someone in America thinks you've got higher death rates because you test more, which can only imply that maybe it's Harold Shipman who's doing the tests. Like, why would it mean more death? How bad are you at testing? If there will be some collateral damage. Yeah,
I think part of the reason is they use an AK-47 for some of the tests. Yeah. It's a rapid fire result.
You run out of the Q-tips. What you gonna do?
You got to get up there. I mean, the obesity epidemic, it's hard to get up those nostrils.
Yeah. And then, the UK side of it, it was, we heard about testing was going to be the cure, the panacea. It was going to sort all the problems with the economy because of Operation Moonshit, whatever it was called. And somehow, as soon as Boris said it out loud, it made testing worse. Since then, we've barely been able to keep up with demand, and we've had XL97 crash. So, unbelievable. Those were the days. I do feel sorry for anyone who got caught up in this whole Excel spreadsheet, because it really, look, you shouldn't be using commonly purchased software to be doing national-based databases. But, if you are doing it, you should have been bought the most up-to-date one. Whoever was in charge of updating Excel, because apparently they were still using, 2000 or something. Yeah. Whoever's in charge of that must be seriously considering their position, thinking about writing that awkward letter, double-clicking on Word 97. Little clip is going, ting, ting. Looks like you're trying to resign. Ting, ting, ting.
I miss the paperclip. Those were good times.
So let's continue doing this then. So this is our Brighton Comedy Special, an episode of Comic Solving Problems. Get yourself subscribed. We happen Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 o'clock. And as part of the Comedy Festival, what we're doing is looking back over some of our favourite bits from Series 2. I want to jump in with a bit that I did based on how times have changed. And for this, I went way, way, way back, because I have done stand-up comedy about why we are dirty people and we should be cleaner and wash our hands way before it was popular. Last year's Edinburgh Festival had a whole bit about those signs on the London Underground saying, don't hold the handrail. I mean, if people would have listened to me, we would have saved lives. If people even just turned up and saw the show, it would have helped. But what I talked about was an advert from like 2009 or something.
Oh, yeah.
Remember this? So I'm going to go through the advert and let's just see if we can highlight anything that might look a bit odd if you're living in the COVID era. Here's the start of the advert.
Hello. Hi, Rachel. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? Great. Oh, what are you up to? Oh, just finishing the shopping, picking the kids up from school, taking them swimming.
Just finishing the shopping, going in shops, sneezing and snotting everywhere, picking the kids up from school, so not only spreading it to kids, but probably the other parent. And what's that at the end? Taking them swimming. Were you invited to the Wuhan pool party? You rancid spreader of disease. Then it continues.
We've got people over for dinner tonight.
People over for dinner. Nice. Maybe lick the cutlery first, and that way you can guarantee they'll catch whatever pox you're trying to spread. The advert continues.
Where are you? Well, I'm going away for work at 5 in the morning, so I'm just doing my presentation and packing.
Packing. So it's a flight. Very good of you, because it's not like everyone on that flight's going to catch whatever you're breathing out. What else?
I hated the bathroom because Pete's parents come for the weekend.
Oh, Pete's parents are coming for the weekend. Now, I'm just guessing, looking at the age of the people we're seeing there, that Pete's parents might be heading on towards being in a vulnerable group. Maybe if they catch your flu, they might die, and you get some inheritance. Is that the plan? Is that what the plan is all along? Then it continues with, this absolute slap in the face.
Actually, I've just been out getting some medicine because he's in bed with a cold. Oh, bless.
Oh, Pete, what's he like? Being in bed, keeping his germs to himself, the selfish prick. And then the advert wraps up.
When he's ill and you don't have time to be,
when he's ill and you don't have time. Your errands are so important. They're more important than people dying. You have to go and do your things. And this, right, okay, there's a gender issue with this advert, which they've changed the law and now adverts aren't allowed to be sexist. So there's a strong chance that advert would not be allowed to be made. But even if you made it just with everyone being of the same gender, the fundamental problem is stop having this attitude of, if you plow on with your dirty germs spitting everywhere, aren't you so brave? You're not brave. You're a spreader of death. Keep your dirty germs away from other people. It's this martyrdom attitude that you want a round of applause for making other people ill who then spread the disease. Every disease you've ever caught, you've caught because other people have given it to other people. Yeah. So actually, I reckon when we see that advert, we should view it more like this.
Oh, hello, how are you? Oh, hello. Busy. I've got to go to the swimming pools later because I got a verruca. Want to make sure I spread that round. Then I'm booking a cruise because I got norovirus. And then I'm going to have lots of unprotected sex because I got crabs. And how's Brian? Oh, he's dead because I shamed him into never admitting that he was ill. So...
I mean, I would say fun times, but they weren't, were they? we had to live through that. Oh, dear.
Some nice little chew at the end. It was nice chew.
Yeah, and also what we're doing in this show, we're doing some like behind the scenes chatting about what it was like to film it. Right now, if I had to do a sketch where I got to wear a thick jacket and a big hat, that'd be nice because it's turned cold. But that was during a heat wave.
Yeah, we did have to film some of these in our offices and spare rooms when it was hot. But luckily, I had Big Bertha with me, so I was fine.
If you don't know what that is, we're not going to explain it now, but you go back and see previous episodes. You'll be
summertime
relieved.
Big Bertha.
So we also get the midnight repeats of these things that play out. And just the other week, someone on D Live, which is one of the places we broadcast, was trying to have a go at us, saying, "Why are you two sitting there wearing ties when we clearly know you're only in your undies on the lower half?" So I replied saying, Who's wearing undies? So no, I think we lost a viewer.
That's right. I'm wearing my mask.
He really holds them in.
You're supposed to wear a mask.
Yep.
You don't say wear. People wear them on their chins.
Yep.
Holding the boys. The boys in there.
God, the boys.
Which actually is a good point, because one of the things we've talked about a lot in the show is COVID-related type things, and a key thing that has been definitely, we've had a few themes, obviously, throughout the run of this since we started doing it back in April, and that is this one. And it's a problem and complication of wearing masks. This might help you with a problem that you might be having, because you might be heading back into work, you're going to be on the tube, and so on, possibly. You're going to have to mask up. We've talked a lot about masks on the show, but I think one of the problems all of us feel is that when you have the mask, you can't see yourself, you can't make any expressions except with the eyes. But I saw this solution on the BBC just today, actually, that there's a mask that's been developed with moving lights to give you some expression on there, and it's a person invented it, and there's a little clip of how it works here, which I think it looks great.
This might be the coolest face mask I've seen. It was created by game developer Tyler Glale, and the lights respond to the sound of your voice.
Because it looks like it might have been developed originally by Al Jolson.
Can you say that? Yeah.
You can say yeah, you can say it.
The reporter really liked this as well. He thought it was such a great idea. I mean, here's what he had to say about it.
I thought I'd have a go at making this myself, just as...
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. You can see something like, oh, well, this must be a piece of pish. I was gonna do a news story about what this guy made, but I thought I'll just do it myself, because that's the kind of wanker I am. Now, before I get sued by whoever that reporter dude is, the guy who made it did put it online, the technology behind how he did it, and the source code and everything else, because he's probably a geek like you. You use all Linux and all that shared free software
open
crap.
Source.
Open source. Don't allow Bill Gates to get any more money so that he can microchip our children. Gotta let him do it. Or I'm sure Steve Jobs come back any day now. But he put it out there, and so Steve and I thought, all right, we'll work on this together, especially with Steve's geek skills primarily driving this. But our mask is different. Not just shows expression like the mask that they made, but this one doesn't just show words. It's a more advanced mask which shows pictures of what you're talking about. You can see it here.
Hi, I'm Eric, and I live in the United Kingdom, where my Prime Minister is Boris Johnson. But I'm originally from America, where my president is Donald Trump.
I'd buy one. Looks good to me.
And it is because it shows the difference, because you can see the difference between Boris Johnson and Donald Trump, because Donald Trump's a little bit smaller. Yeah, a little bit smaller. I mean, Boris must be huge, because I mean, how many kids does that man have?
No one knows.
You
Top
wink at him and you're
scientists don't know.
pregnant. I'm afraid to meet him.
It's one of those numbers. If ever you get bored and you are a nerd like me, Anne and I and TJ, I have self-medicated through lockdown, through the emotional ups and downs of it all, by watching lots of videos about maths, including ones that explain why 1 over 0 is technically undefined. Mm-hmm. And I think there's probably a video out there as to why the number of children Boris Johnson has is unknowable. It's an uncountable infinity. Oh God! So the sad thing is, since that video, I've just watched even more videos of that. I'm still doing it. Oh dear! I recently found out that I to the power of I is a real number, but that might not be of interest to anyone. But
it's not.
You're right. Well done. Yeah.
It's not. I can say that. The thing is, that mask is real. The only problem is that when we made it, regardless of what you say, it just shows those 4 images.
Yeah.
And so when I wear it on the train, it leads to some weird conversations, because no matter what I say, it's a cup of tea, a gun, and 2 cocks.
Yeah.
So
which
I'm
seems
dating
like
someone new now. And,
it seems like it's the title of a really bad Guy Ritchie sequel. A cup of tea, a gun, a couple of cocks.
It's kind of a person, man, woman, camera, TV thing.
Who knows? While we're going through our favourite clips, it might get mentioned. A lot of people love that.
It's there. We love it. Love it.
So yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the thingy. This show has been going on for 2 series now, and we split into series just because we took a little break. Hey, we did enough work. Do you know what I mean? As soon as lockdown started, we did the quarantine version of it. We've been doing it to at least twice a week. One week we did 3, right back in the early days. We've been doing it for 2 series now. So this is our Brighton comedy special. First of all, looking back at some of our favourite bits. One of the things that everyone was very heated about at the time, and now no one's really mentioned it. I love how these stories like burn so brightly and then disappear and no one cares anymore. Remember the furore about the proms?
Oh yeah,
and now
it was a big deal.
All over and done with. Everyone's like, no one cares. We're all about Excel spreadsheets and flipping it. I mean, earlier, end of last week, there was a news story that said that scientists have worked out that men with deeper voices are more likely to be unfaithful, which I think is terrible news. But
listen to my voice.
Yeah, you'll get a. No wonder you like this story. But back in the day, this whole Land of Hope and Glory lark was the hottest property in town, and we covered it like this. Rule Britannia will be sung on the last night of the proms after BBC U-turn, and get you more information on this by, I've got a pile here of news stories about recent U-turns. It's not that one. Hang on, sorry, that's no, that one's A-levels. Local lockdowns, masks in schools, not that one either. This is driving to Barnard Castle, Air Bridge. Do you know what? I think I can do it just by remembering it. Femi, who's a well-known left-wing activist and commentator. Yeah, I'm sure you've probably been on things with him, with your media work. He was on ITV. Here's a clip of what he had to say.
Nobody on the Black Lives Matter was talking about the proms.
Yes, it makes so much sense. No one... This is just a distraction. And he was actually saying it's a distraction. And this is my favourite bit of TV I've ever seen.
We shouldn't be spending all this time talking about it, but every time I mention the things we should be talking about, I keep getting shut down.
Yes, as I mentioned, you were booked on this show today to talk about your objections to Rule Britannia and Land of Hope and Glory.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Every time, this is just a distraction. And then Eamon goes, but you were booked to talk about the distraction. Can I get you back onto the distraction, please? That's so blatant. That's like a magician doing this kind of, oh, that's it, follow the coin, and oh, look at that, what's that? Look at that there. So there's
we should do a that's the first time we've done magic on the show.
Yeah, it's pretty good as well. No one saw how it was done. If you watch it back, you might be able to work it out. Yeah, actual magic on the show.
I think it was the first and last time we did magic on the show.
No, there was another one, and it's not one of the clips that I've picked, so we can definitely mention it here. There was a radio presenter who famously cut up a mask on radio. So I did my version where I got a mask, cut it up, crammed it to my hand, and then just pulled out a complete mask.
Yeah.
I'm available for children's parties apart from
We've got everything in this show. Everything.
And also, by sitting here playing our favourite clips for the Brighton Festival, I've noticed how every single time I play a clip, and my clips are always short, right, in the actual show, they're about 5 seconds, you always think you can get a drink in. I've noticed that. Come back from a 2-second clip from ITV.
Yeah. It's the same. It's always there. It's just, okay.
The guy can't go for 3 minutes without his vodka.
Yep. Well, that's how we get through these things. Fights COVID. Haven't had it yet. So I have that. But it's because I add that little bit of bleach.
The bleach chaser.
The bleach chaser. That's the key. Well, we've talked a lot about COVID over the show, but sometimes we also cover other topics. We don't always talk about politics. We don't always talk about, the pandemic that's going on. Sometimes we find stories that are just little gems. And this actually, I think this might be up there. When we do our look back on 100 years or 100 series. 100 years?
100 years. I plan on dying well before then.
This is, I think, going to be one of the top stories of all time, and that's why we picked it for the show. It is a problem with the name of things. It's an important question. What do you do when you see an injustice?
Not a lot, but thanks for asking the question.
Well, if you're in Nebraska and you're named Andrew Christensen, I'll tell you what you do. You go to a city council meeting and you raise your concerns, just like this man did right here.
Lincoln has the opportunity to be a social leader in this country. We have been casually ignoring a problem that has gotten so out of control that our children are throwing around names and words without even understanding their true meaning and treating things as though they're normal. I go into nice family restaurants and I see people throwing this name around and pretending as though everything is just fine.
That's
worrying.
right, Steve. It does sound worrying. And this is America. There's a lot of tension right now. And I got to be honest, when you start watching this and you're like, oh boy, here's a white guy talking about words being thrown around. Where's he going with this?
Uh-oh.
I mean, I just hope he's going to complain about the fact that people call him ginger. But that's not a thing in America. So we got to worry. So I'm just telling you right now, Steve, audience, brace yourselves. This is what he wants to find out about.
I go into nice family restaurants and I see people throwing this name around and pretending as though everything is just fine. I'm talking about boneless chicken wings.
That's right, Steve. Boneless chicken wings. Finally! Somebody is taking the issue to the man the way it's deserved to be taken to all this time. It's a real issue and a real problem. Although I'll be honest with you, it didn't get the reaction in the room that it deserved.
Yeah.
Have a look.
I'm talking about boneless chicken wings. I propose that we as a city remove the... Excuse me, I'm trying to...
Wow. I mean, I think you still could be worried that it is for him a racial slur. That might be what people shout at him.
He does kind of look like a bit of a chicken wing. And that's not a ginger thing.
Thank you.
Like a rooster. Anyway. But I mean, it's a real problem. Andrew's bringing it up, and he's going to explain why. All right, here's his explanation.
I propose that we as a city remove the name boneless wings from our menus and from our hearts. These are our reasons why. Number one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's more.
He's got more than one reason, Steve. It's not just some casual thing that he hasn't thought about. He's made a list, all right?
Ugh.
Now, we've giggled at Ander. Other people have giggled at Ander. Most of the world is laughing at Ander. But we need to hear him out. So I'm not going to stop it anymore. Let's just play it out. Let's hear his reasons to stop this atrocity.
Number one. Nothing about boneless chicken wings actually come from the wing of a chicken. We would be disgusted if a butcher was mislabeling their cuts of meats, but then we go around and pretending as though the breast of the chicken is its wing. Number two, boneless chicken wings are just chicken tenders, which are already boneless. I don't go to order boneless tacos. I don't go and order boneless club sandwiches. I don't ask for boneless auto repair. It's just what's expected. And then number three, we need to raise our children better. Our children are raised being afraid of having bones attached to their meat. That's where meat comes from. It grows on bones. We need to teach them that the wing of a chicken is from a chicken, and it's delicious.
You do it for the children, Steve. Not just some boneless auto repair.
Yeah, that one actually, he's made
Steve?
me realize I will always ask for boneless auto repair from now on, just in case.
If you've been boned while getting your auto repaired, call us. Have you been affected by the issues that we brought up in this show today?
Dear, and that's how I realize you can't fit quicker than a quick fit fitter.
Got to do it for the children. I mean, you think this is a problem? Does this bother you? The fact that boneless chicken, it's not. You're someone who's precise in your language.
Yep.
You care about issues.
Yeah, I mean, it's never bothered me before. As long as boneless chicken doesn't have bones in it, I'm ticking all the boxes I need. And as long as it's got chicken in it as well, I would like that, but it's not essential depending on which chicken shop I'm going to. So I've never worried.
Someday, if you have a child, do you think you want them to think that chicken is just a boneless invertebrate?
Maybe if that's what I wanted, I'd feed it squid rings. No, because
calamari. We're not French.
Just because you know that some part of chicken doesn't have bones in doesn't mean no part of the chicken has bones in. Like a drumstick fairly obviously has a bone right through it.
Maybe. I don't know anymore. I don't have a drum with that stick. But Ander isn't here just to raise a problem. He does what many politicians don't, and he has a solution. And here it is.
I propose that we rename boneless wings in the city of Lincoln. We can call them buffalo-style chicken tenders. We can call them wet tenders. We can call them saucy nugs or trash. We can take these steps and show the country that where we stand. and that we understand that we've been living a lie for far too long. And we know it because we feel it in our bones.
Thank you. Okay, hold it down.
Boom.
Yeah, good line at the end.
Mic drop. Feel it in our bones.
Bones. Not that
We're
we
not
have
some
them.
boneless chicken standing up here. I'm standing up here for freedom. The American way. I don't know why he brings buffaloes into it, because that's a legacy we don't really want to talk about in America.
Yeah.
But still.
There's so many his suggestions. It's nice that he comes up with solutions, but don't mention buffalo, because now I'm thinking, ooh, quite fancy some buffalo. And I'd be upset that there's no buffalo in it. And then what was the other one? Wet tenders. That's a radio-friendly version of a Cardi B song. I don't want to know what's going on with that.
If you got your kids their box of wet tenders, yeah, that's not appropriate either. I mean, you got to admire Andrew for doing this. He's standing up, taking the ground for something that he believes in. But you know what? He's not the only hero in this story, Steve. There's another hero here, and that's the woman behind him. If we can take a little bit of a closer look.
And we go around and pretending as though the breast of the chicken is its wing.
Holding it together.
Number 2,
holding it
boneless
together.
chicken wings
And
are
she can't
just
take it
chicken
anymore.
tenders.
So good she's got that mask on. Finally, a plus side to wearing a mask indoors.
Yeah, real heroes wear masks, Steve.
Wow. Oh, you really brought the good stories to the show. Thank heavens we covered that.
It was, I mean, just watching it back again. I mean, I show that to the kids, our family, because you're watching it first. Like, this is boring. I was like, why are you showing me this? And then he starts going on about the chicken wings and the bones. And
does he not look like someone who's missing debating society? Kind of for no reason form an argument on this topic.
But what's good about that is I would imagine, they've got all the signs where people in the background can't sit because of COVID, allegedly. But I can't imagine that when there isn't COVID going on, that those meetings are any busier.
But if they knew that was the kind of entertainment they'd get.
That's true.
Imagine if at the end of it you could hand round some wet tenders. Wet tenders still is the worst one out of all of it.
Feed me some trash.
That I'd rather eat than wet tenders.
Yeah, I could watch that one over and over again.
I think it was great that you brought that story to the show, because we cover all, as you say, we cover all the stories, and it's very important for us that Comic Solving Problems, we solve the problems that aren't just COVID-related, economic, and all that stuff. So yeah, I think you somewhat inspired me to then bring to the table another chicken-related one. Admittedly, this one goes a little bit back to the issue of what's it called? COVID, health and safety more. What's the thing called? Everyone's been talking about it. The thing that I had, which you think I'd remember. But just to chip in my side of some chicken-related news, I talked about this. KFC drops finger-licking good slogan as it doesn't quite fit in the age of COVID-19. And this is an actual picture. They've released this picture of their logo. But the problem is, by blurring it out, it's like bleeping words. It makes you think it must be a swear word underneath it. They should have gone the other way. Why didn't they listen to the emails I've been sending them that said, just change your logo to this? It's finger washing good.
Nice.
And then all of a sudden, you're on the right side of history. I've worked recently with Skittles. Taste the rainbow. We've added an asterisk. And if you look down the bottom for the small print, please wipe the rainbow first. And my favourite brand that I've worked with, because look, their imagery of their logo caused some problems, and I thought the only thing you can do is change your slogan. So we've gone with Nokia, infecting people. None of those companies have written back. Strange, isn't it?
I know. Well, I mean, you're going to need to be retrained soon, according to Rishi. So, I mean, you're gaining some skills in doing this show, because Steve he's the tech meister in all this. So he's what you're watching right now is only possible because of Steve's inner geek.
Why, thank you. And for ages, like one of the radio stations I worked at, they stopped hiring IT help because I would just do all the IT work for them. And I've often thought, like, oh, maybe I could have a career in IT, but I don't feel brave enough. I don't feel like I know enough to actually do this professionally. And then you hear the government uses the wrong version of Excel. And I'm like, actually, give me a call, government, if you want to give me some money. I reckon I could upgrade you.
Yeah. Be careful, though, saying that you're good at stuff right now, because the job center is listening. They're everywhere. It's the only people. I mean, they're the ones. I mean, if you're looking for a job, I'd go get a job there.
they're never going to be out of business. Not in
They're
this.
not going to be out of business anytime
economic
soon.
climate.
So, they're trying to find jobs for former comedians. Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I know we're not really here to be talking about that, but the more I keep thinking about that story, the more it winds me up. Rishi Sunak asked, because it's important what you think the question is. And I think he was asked, what are you going to do about all of those people who work in the arts who've been made jobless by the government's decision? That's really important to put that in the question, because it puts it in context that when he says, retrain. Oh, thanks. Thanks, dude. I mean, I know Rishi Sunak's approval rating is really high at the moment because he's just spent months and months giving away more money than any government's ever given away. Yeah. I think when the money dries up and he starts telling people, oh no, get a job, why don't you try and be Chancellor? I did and it worked out for me. Then all of a sudden his approval rating might drop somewhat.
No, he's gorgeous.
Okay. If that's what you're into.
I'm a big fan. Right. Well, speaking of things I'm a fan of, this is a problem that comes up a lot on the show. We've dealt with it quite a bit, but it's a personal one. It's one where, we talk about Donald Trump being president of the United States. I'm from America. Woo! And that's what we have to say after we say I'm from America. Name of it? Woo! And but here's a specific problem that was between me and the president of the United States. This is going back to something that did happen to me. I'm attached to the story personally because Donald Trump, president of the United States, actually lost a lawsuit a few years ago, and he was prohibited from blocking people on Twitter because the judge decided that the at real Donald Trump, he was using it for official business to make pronouncements and that kind of thing, and he lost the case and he had to unblock a lot of people, but Trump has decided he can't take the heat anymore, and this was in the headline last week. He's just gone back to court to try and have the right to block people again after the court said that he couldn't. So, and the reason I care about this, Steve, is because you remember I was blocked by the president of the United States. I still have an American passport. I still file a tax return. Don't make enough to actually pay anything, but I file because it's the law. You're required to. They might catch you. I snapshotted it. This is back from June 2017 when I was blocked by the president. Some of you may have noticed behind me under the beer sign over here in the house. I've got it blown up there. There it is. Yeah. I'm very proud of the fact that the president of the United States and his little chubby fingers went in there and blocked me. And it's not just Donald that blocked me. I got this one, Donald Trump Jr. Look at this. Look at that.
Nice.
Blocks back in the day. And, I mean, it's kind of pointless, but I've got this block as well. Don't know. I mean, everybody blocks him. But I was working on the whole family, going for the royal flush.
Nice.
A joke? I don't know. But I was unblocked because he was sued by a group called Mike Columbia, who were an advocacy group. They won the court case, and when they won, because they had like 7 people that they represented, they opened it up to other people who were blocked. And so I wrote to them and I said, I've been blocked. And they said, okay. And my name was submitted in writing as part of this court resolution to the Department of Justice to say this person should be unblocked. And somebody had to go into Trump's account. I just hope he had to do it while he was sitting there with his greasy little burger fingers and unblock me, right? That's kind of cool. And when you did it, though, you had to send in the tweet that you think got you blocked so that they could prove that it wasn't like abuse or violence or that kind of thing. So I had to go through the tweets. It was hard to know the exact moment you get blocked because, of course, you don't get noticed. That's probably the point. And I think I got it down to this was the tweet that I think did it. Trump sent this tweet. Which we have here back in April 2017. Happy birthday to our FLOTUS, Melania. He actually spelled her name right in that one. He often calls her Melanie. It's confusing when you have that many wives. So he sent that tweet. And so this was copied into the letter sent to the Department of Justice. It's on file somewhere in the U.S. government that he sent that tweet, and then I sent this one. Looking for gift ideas? Give her a divorce. It's what she really wants. 1,000 likes. That's good for me. Yeah.
How did you make the divorce in thicker text?
I've got no idea. I think maybe you used to be able to do that in Twitter. Or maybe because I think when I was search
for divorce.
I searched for my name, divorce, and Donald Trump, and that's how it found it in the search. There we go. Yeah, I was not able to make it bold, but that's filed in the Justice Department.
Yeah.
So
So he's going back to court to try and block you again. Have you been sending more jokes about his wife?
No.
We've done about 3 in the show tonight. That's true. There's a strong chance. If he watches the show, you'll get blocked again.
Yeah. I did like that story, and because it's true. I still got the tweet up there, and I do have a copy of the letter that says, but I don't like it because at the end of it, I look down, and you can see my chin go like this. So just done it again. So I almost didn't put that clip in because I got some chin action going on.
Because we've not talked about this, though. This is in case you've just recently joined the Brighton Festival comedy special, where we're picking some of our favourite clips from Series 2 of Comic Solving Problems. We've not even mentioned about the fact that look at all the things that have changed. Seeing different clips of the shows. It's just an array of different chin statuses and beard status, and the hair suddenly goes out and in, and wowzers.
I have rearranged the filing cabinets and slide response.
And this has all changed, isn't it? This kit.
That's all changed. Yeah, you got the different lights and things back there. So look at that.
And I'm still. The more clips we play, the more I realise I look like I've got a beetroot face again. This webcam is obsessed with making me look like I've got a red face, and I keep toning it down. And as I can see by looking at the clip, slowly but surely, it comes back to big red face. I mean, this is the actual colour, but
it's a lovely big red face.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you. Nice, thank you. So yeah, we've explained what this is. This is our it's a comedy special, part of the Brighton Festival. If you like your comedy, I would say that's the place to go, but you can watch it online. That's what you're doing right now. I will also say what we're doing by using the internet to try and do comedy. It's what happened at the start of lockdown. Everyone tried to do stand-up, and it's tricky to do stand-up, but this format's a bit different. So I got into this working from home lark. And it's still going on. There's been a lot of debate about whether we should go into the office to work. Do you remember when everyone was trying to get us back into the office? The Telegraph was saying, MPs are saying, get back to work or risk losing your job. Now it's a bit like, it's not. So there is an issue about no longer being forced to work from home. And I did this whole rant about what it was like to work from home, which I think we're both connected with. If you've worked from home over the last pandemic, this might relate to you. I've worked at home for decades in what we do for a living. You know, I've been a writer and done loads of stuff from home. And anyone who knows about this, anyone who's ever worked from home will realise you are not respected if you work at home. We have all been through this situation.
I'm home.
Hiya.
Well, I see you've not done the recycling.
Sorry, what?
You've been at home all day and you've still not done the recycling.
Well, neither did you.
I've been at work. And so have I.
That is the moment in everyone's life when you realise two things. One is you are not respected if you work from home, and two, if you win an argument by using logic, you're about to get shouted at. And everyone's gone through it now. Actually, it's really cheered me up, because that was just the bane of my existence for like 2 decades. And now everyone knows what it's like. Yes.
Yep. It never leaves.
Yeah.
Never. It's laundry and dishes. It's constant. You're here. Anyway, I don't do any of that. No one does.
It was both sat there crying, kind of, it's horrible working from home. But that's, hey, keep it light, comedy show.
Comedy!
Hopefully you're enjoying it. There is the link to subscribe there. But also, if you're enjoying this, comedy entertainment, then chuck some money in the pot. Near the stream, you should see a link to donate. And it keeps these lights were not free.
You're keeping the lights on.
Just about. They're LED because they don't use a lot of power.
That's right. We're actually pedaling. That's why we can't show our below this, is because we are only wearing underwear and we are just hamster wheeling away.
I wish I was burning that many calories. Oh.
That's the most exercise I've gotten in weeks. Since the government stopped mandating that we go out for an hour.
Do you remember those days?
Exercise.
I know that was more of a Series 1 chat, but that when we were allowed out once a day to exercise, and I honestly just stayed in. I was like, what? I've got to run. I'll keep watching the telly. I'll keep watching maths videos.
I hurt my back. So
good excuse.
Yeah. That's what it was.
So while the link's still on there to say check some money in the pot, thank you for everyone who's got in touch, whether it's message board stuff, we get tweets, we get messages, and we get emails as well. Thank you to Keith, who sent in ages ago an idea of doing songs that relate to lockdown, which we have still not got round to doing. But we'll do that on a show where we'll keep that as a running thread through it. He keeps sending some great suggestions, so at some point we'll just read out his suggestions. It'll be great. And thank you to Philip as well, who keeps sending us some lovely stories. And by lovely, I mean some real weird-ass stories. I don't know where he notices these. So what I thought we'd do, while we're doing these comedy special Brighton ones, is bring up some of the stories that he has sent to us. And you've not seen these. I've glanced at them, but I've not prepped a lot of stuff. So just see if there's anything we can do with this story. Qantas. You can now buy a fully stocked drinks cart for sale to the public.
Okay.
I think this is one of those examples of industries who think we like everything about what they offer when we don't. I think I like the fact that a plane gets you from one place to another.
Yep.
I think maybe the shitty drinks in the big cart that slams you in the knee when you're trying to get some sleep. That's not the good thing. That's.
I mean, the good thing about international flights on most airlines is that when those trays come, those drinks are free.
Yeah.
And now you're asking us to buy the cart and pay for all the drinks, and we don't even get to go anywhere.
It's all the worst side. And knowing my luck, I'll end up buying a fully stocked drinks cart off the one flight that had someone with a peanut allergy on it, so you don't even get nuts in there. Honestly, and what's the point of the... I don't really get the concept of miniatures anyway. It's the alcoholic version of fun-sized Mars bars. There's nothing fun about that size. What are you doing?
Well, they're teeny tiny planes.
No, I know. Okay, no, I see the functionality, but I mean, if you're going to have a drink, what is there? There are only, as far as I can see, two reasons to enjoy drinking from a miniature. You know, the small, maybe a small little bottle of whiskey and the really small can of Coke. One is space saving if you're on a flight, but if you're not on a flight, the only other reason to buy it is because you're about to take a penis photo, and you want you want scale context.
You've thought about this.
Just saying.
Just saying. All right.
A little mini bottle of Jack Daniels. What size of that?
To be fair, you've just shown a problem and the solution. I think we've just solved our first problem on the show.
What is terrible about this as well, normally we spend all day writing a lot of this crap. Why? Why don't we just take suggestions in live and just deal with it? It's so much easier than all the work.
You're having problems with the size of your penis.
Yeah, fix it.
Fixed it.
Well,
there we go.
Yeah. Hopefully you've enjoyed this Brighton Festival comedy special of comic solving problems. So there's more of these still to come, though.
There's more to come. We're on every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 o'clock UK time, and but we do it, outside of the Brighton Fringe as well. So you can subscribe to the channel just to catch us as we go forward. Because I suspect that after this month is over, there'll still be some problems.
Yeah, it's probably not all going to be fixed, which is in part our fault because we are failing to deliver what we promised.
That's right. That's why we're hoping to get jobs in the government. And we can. We're going to fail up.
Yeah, I'll be in charge of their IT department. The thick of IT. It's a sketch idea. How have I not done that sketch yet?
There you go. Write that down.
Balls. I should have done that the other week when that news story was actually the thick of IT. I mean, you already got the joke, but I'm saying it again.
Yeah, just say it. Yeah,
thick of
just in
IT.
case.
And I could be like a Malcolm Tucker character swearing about spreadsheets. Actually, maybe I just screenshot a spreadsheet with all the swear words I know on it.
There you go. Set. But you might, if you're using an old spreadsheet, you might break it.
I think that the problem was if there's over 1 million data points, it can't handle it. And with the year we've had, we all know enough swear words to fill that. Wow.
That's right. If you subscribe or give us money, we will send them to you.
Yeah. Brilliant. So if you've enjoyed the show, anything that you could contribute, a little donation would very much help to keep this project going, and that's the nature of these comedy festivals as well, that we do the free shows and you can chuck some money in our direction. Other than that,
I think just see you next time. I think.
Right, till then,
see you later. Bye.